should be live. Maybe I need to throw something up in the background, and I made myself a little bit too big here. Let me just shrink down to a more tolerable size. Good evening, everyone. It is Sunday, July 24th. The time is not 7:37 p.m. It's actually 7:32 p.m. And I see a lot of people in the chat already. Brad Palmer, Michelle Briggs, John O'Meara, Action VJ, Clayton Crawford, Harjot, Brett Mallon or Milan, Rhonda Lloyd, Linda Jane Jackson, Deborah Ball, Michana Camper Girl, Mark Lang is here all the way from down under in Australia. John O'Meara, Young Jedi, Marg H, Jenna A, Alex, Whitby Dude, Hunter Stewart, Marie Palmer. Did I read that one? Gertej. I saw Vivian Johnson in the chat earlier. I didn't have a title for this stream, and I glanced over at the chat and I saw she had a suggestion. So that's the title of this stream. I was really not in the best mood, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Yes, I had another gaffe. Not as bad as losing an audio microphone, but almost as bad. I don't know. We'll get into it. And let's just kick this one off with a beverage, since I so desperately need one. This is a mango and raspberry hazy IPA. And we're back to the nonsense commercial drivel on the back. Mango Berry is a fruit-flavored forward hazy IPA with a tropical punch of hops without the IPA bitterness. This supremely refreshing and effervescent beer is aggressively whirlpool, firm, and dry hopped, then fermented with raspberry and mango purees. And it's 6%. Let's give it a go. I bought a 6-pack of Cowbell, so I've got to take the good with the bad. I think I've had this one before. I think it's actually pretty good. Vivian Johnson is joining me with a Caesar. For our American friends, a Caesar is basically a Bloody Mary, but it's made with Clamato as the base instead. When I lived in Korea, there was one like diner / breakfast restaurant that actually had Bloody Caesars and Bloody Marys on the menu, and that's not something you ever see outside of Canada. Whippy Dude says after a mango smoothie in Little India. Lisa, it's not really talented when you type something in and it gets underlined and you right click it and that corrects the spelling. But anyways, cheers everyone. So stupidly busy weekend in the city. I think I counted like 8 festivals in total. There was Ozfest on Ossington Avenue. There was Summer in the Canary District. There was the Beaches Jazz Festival. There was Little Manila, Taste of Little Manila up at Yonge and Lawrence. There was a Caribbean food festival in Little Jamaica. There was the Taste of the Middle East at Nathan Phillips Square. And there was Youth Day going on Yonge Street, where they actually closed down part of Yonge Street. So that's 7. Did I say 8? I'm sure there was a few more festivals going on. So I managed to capture about half of it, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to use that footage. Alex only went to Taste of Manila. I skipped out on that. Today was supposed to be thunderstorms all day. The forecast said thunderstorms all day, and I was like, okay, I'll just skip out on all the festival stuff, and I'll just make some rain walk videos. So that was my intention today. I had my umbrella with me. I went out, and it started raining this morning, and it was raining pretty good. So I got all excited, got ready to go out, and then as soon as I went out, it stopped raining, and it actually turned into a very nice day. Action VJ says, play the footage now. Play the footage of what? Oh, I didn't, Michelle. Yes, that's a festival I went yesterday too. The Festival of South Asia. So that is 8 festivals. So that is yeah, and we had a whole whackload of festivals the week before. So I'm kind of feeling like it's not really important to go and cover all of them. Maybe, is there another city in the world have as many festivals as we do? It's kind of crazy right now. JK says, yo, Johnny, yo, do I have my thing going up here? Can I highlight? There we go. I can. Clayton says, oh, about the thunderstorms, you called ahead the weather gods, a 967 number. 967 or 976? And ask them to hold off the storms just for me. I wanted the storms, Clayton. Why are you asking them to hold off the storms? I wanted the storms. But what happened was, you know, I record my audio twice, and I lost one of these guys last time when I was recording the indies. So I had to buy new ones at a very steep cost. And one of mine filled up. I didn't clear it out, so I was only working with one, so I didn't have my backup audio. And lo and behold, this is why I record 2 audio tracks every time. So I'm using my expensive Rode wireless audio recorder. I'm using my Rode lav mic, and to connect the two together, of course, I use a $2 TRS to TRRS cable from AliExpress. Yeah, that's a smart idea. Why is that a smart idea? Because of course you want your expensive audio gear to be linked together with a $2 cable. Let me see if I can show you what happened. So this is the audio from one of the videos I filmed yesterday. We'll play it over VLC player because for some reason this is just me getting off the bus. Doesn't really sound like much. But just wait. Doesn't that sound awesome? These little cracks and hiccups persist all throughout the video. It is actually this end here that failed. Hey everyone, it is Saturday, July 23rd. Ooh. The time is 2:17 I did multiple tests with it. The temperature right now is around 29 degrees Celsius. And I determined it is this end here that failed. That was the and this is my lone audio recording. Ossington bus I was just on. So yeah, I don't know how I'm going to fix that because the audio on the camera I'm using also doesn't work properly. Yeah, Gertej, I record the audio separately. So if I play the audio from the camera, which would be like my last resort, listen to how jacked this sounds. Okay, there goes the bus. Hey everyone, it is Saturday, July 23rd. Not terrible. The time is 2:17 p.m. and the temperature right now is around 29 degrees Celsius. But you can hear it going in and out and kind of pumping. 63 southbound Ossington bus I was just on. It's actually okay right now. And I'm currently walking south down the west side of Ossington Avenue, and that was Churchill Avenue where I got off. Well, now I'm starting to barely hear myself. After this one is to continue on straight. And then south of... See, I'm talking right now. I'll be passing through a street festival called Ozfest. And you can't hear me. So I don't know. So I'll travel south through that. Yeah, this is right around where I wiped out. So I don't know. I need to make my way down to King Street. I don't know what to do. And I recorded 4 videos this weekend. And I think they're all like this. So is the whole thing a write-off? So this is Ozfest on Ossington. There was a really, really cool part, actually. Where's the cool part? Yeah, look at this. So yeah, it was fun times. It's just, I Because I'm going away soon and I want to like stock up and have extra stuff, like losing 4 videos is kind of a bit of a setback, you could say. So I'm going to see if there's any way I could salvage these and not have to scrap them. I mean, I could always just play them in the background of a home stream like I do with extra footage I capture, but these were supposed to be like daily uploads. Anyways, so yeah, that's the story of my weekend. I just wasted my time. Oh, even worse. Even worse. If you want to know what a dumbass I am, I recorded a video on Friday night. JS, where is it? Where is it? I'm looking for it now. Walks. Annex morning. No, it's not in there. Where would I have put it? Did I not even like back up my own? Oh, it would be in this one. Rouge Park, downtown. Friday night, big one, midtown, Rouge Park, downtown, zigzag. No, it's not there. Where would it be? So Saturday and Sunday I recorded 4 videos and I think the audio is all screwed up. So what I did on Friday night, I recorded 1 video that's out tonight, or that's already up today. But look at this. Look at these light streaks. What I did was I use a wide angle lens attachment on my camera when I do scooter rides. I put this thing on it. I have never used this at night. And apparently you cannot use it in low light because this is what it does to all the light sources. It just creates these like diagonal flares across them. So I don't think I can use this either. So the last 5 videos I made, like, I don't know. These are tomorrow's problem. Anyways, that was my weekend, just wasting my time going around with the camera making stuff that I'm gonna try to salvage some of the ones from today. I did one along shooter that I think I can kind of fix the audio. I don't know. I didn't really look at them. Just post them here on Stumbles like you did with the old. I'm going to try to fix them because I'm going away. But anyways, that was my weekend. I'm an idiot. A lot of times when this happens, I don't mention it. I just kind of go, oh, well, you know, you should have bricked this time. It happens. But what do you do? 4 now, 5 in a row. Yeah, I kind of feel like the Boston Red Sox right now, just not having the great weekend. Action BJ says the lighting effect is kind of cool. Tell everyone those are alien death rays that you cleverly avoided. Bill Chow says the lights don't bother you. I'm too much. You know, I don't know. I got still a week and a half to catch up and record a lot of videos, so we'll be fine. Post them anyways, warts and all. I'll find a way. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to catch you guys up. That was my weekend. Deborah says you could do a live edit session, how to edit glitches out of a video, new feature. I don't know how to fix those, Deborah. I'm kind of a one-man band. Jack of all trades, master of none. I wouldn't even know how to do those, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But that was my weekend. I did Ozfest. I did Summer in the Canary. I did one that did the Middle East, Nathan Phillips Square, and then I went up Young, and I did Shooter, and I did a Young Street night ride, and I did the live stream on Saturday. And the fun thing about that was my iPhone overheated. And I asked Action Kid, because I know he live streams with an iPhone as well, if his does the same glitch that mine does, and it does. which is really annoying, where if it gets too hot, it just dims the screen to the point where I can't really... Wait, did my thing just freeze there for a second? Oh well. Oh well, we're not going to worry about it. Clayton says, so what are you going to get you while in Europe? How about nothing? Chris Mills did laundry. So how was your guys' weekend? Let me know. What did you do? Hopefully you did something better. I did go out and have a pretty good meal on the weekend, though. So I did one good thing. Alex says I didn't go to Little Jamaica. Yeah, I thought today was going to be all thunderstorms and stuff. So I got all geared up to do some crazy weather videos. Are we going to have anything in the forecast? Toronto weather. Look at me, I can't spell. Possible rain on Wednesday. Tomorrow, 24. That's not bad. Tuesday, 26. Thursday, 27. Friday, 26. That's not bad. Mike T asking, is my vacation destination common knowledge yet? No. It is to channel members and Patreon supporters. Whippy dude, I have not, but I think I can use Roger's Roam like from home and still have access to all my data. So as long as I'm not on some kind of like throttled speed when I'm roaming, I should be able to live stream without even having to get a SIM card. So it's $15 a day. Little bit steep, but considering I don't have to go and like rent a SIM card and deal with all that, I can just use my existing phone. I think I'm going to do that. Clayton Crawford says, thanks, Johnny. You have no idea what nothing is, so it'll be a surprise. Alex went to Oakville yesterday. Sweet. Hey, Johnny, can you make a live 24-hour in YouTube Johnny Stumbles? Sunjib, I did already. I did, and I killed it. Baroof had high hopes to meet me Saturday because of your daughter. It took longer, and I was gone. Yeah, it was so hot. I did not last there that long. Anthony Michael says, or you could use GigSky. GigSky, simply mobile data anywhere. We're here to connect whatever you want in the world. Explore GigSky products. Instant connectivity with the GigSky app. Employee eSIM. Oh, I hate the concept of eSIMs. They're evil. GigSky app. Simple and innovative way to stay connected anywhere. I'll look into it, I guess. Deborah had planned to make a video on South Haven, Michigan, but the weather was stormy. Oh well, so that was my plan. Look at this. I've only done live streams on here. I haven't posted a regular video. I think next weekend I have something to do on Sunday. So I might not have a stumble stream, or I might do it on Saturday or something. I'm not really sure. Paranormal Witness Girl. I'm not sure if I'm going to be going to Vancouver or not. Jeanette worked. You're thinking of a Rihanna song. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing, but since we're here on the positive side, it might be really nice this week. Yes, hopefully. Who are the 10 most famous people from Toronto? Drake? Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was born in Oakville, but we'll give that a pass. Margaret Atwood. She is living in the annex. Mike Myers. Samantha Bee. I have never heard of Samantha Bee. Kiefer Sutherland. Kiefer Sutherland grew up around Victoria Park and Danforth. Frank Gehry. Yep, he's the guy who did the ROM. Keanu Reeves, Shawn Mendes, and The Weeknd. I would take out Samantha Bee and put Snow in there. How about that? The Bare Naked. Yeah, if we included... I don't know. Interesting mix. I've never even heard of Samantha Bee. A flashback to the grittiness of Toronto streets in the 80s. Samantha Bee is a comedian with her own show. Comedian or Hey, look, Zanzibar. Oh, they definitely have a way better sign now. There was a John Anderson's right north of Yonge and Dundas. Four Drugs restaurant open 24 hours. This is pretty neat. Mike T says political comedian. Wow, hating on Samantha Bee, even though most people don't know who she is. I'm not hating on her. I don't know who she is. I'm not going to pass judgment on someone. Obviously, she's made a name for herself, so good for her. Samantha Bee is a Canadian-American comedian. There's a feminine version of comedian? Writer, producer, political commentator, actress, and television host. She rose to fame as a correspondent on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. I've never heard of her. Do I live in a... or underneath a garbage can? Where is that? For those interested in mining the visual archives. I don't know where this is. Oh, looking toward Queen and Portland. Now the site of Loblaws. Oh, that makes sense. This is Portland and this is Queen. And the Big Bop is like right there. Joshua says, can't forget the weekend. How could she even be one of the 100 most influential people in the world? Lisa was in that Loblaws today. Not a craft beer in sight. Labatt 50... Vienna, Molson Export, Labatt's. Funland Arcade. So this is right around the corner from Yonge and Dundas. An underground city tour in Paris would get some viewers. Let's hope I'm going to Paris then. I don't think I'm going to Paris. I'm not going to Paris. That would be cool. What is this? The pre-gentrification junction. This would have been during Prohibition, before you're even allowed to drink there. New Image Studio Gallery in the Junction. The Junction still has a lot of these galleries. A snippet of Kensington Market in the 80s. These guys are just exchanging starry-eyed glances at one another. Christopher says, light streaks like your old too high camera filming, all bringing you to the point of even better quality filming. Yeah, I don't know what to do with that one. Looking west across Queen and Bathurst. Hey, this building is still here. It doesn't look like that anymore. Look at that. Nice, proper streetcar enclosure there. I don't even think we have that anymore. Joe's Crayons is here. Are you guys talking about the Paris catacombs? I don't think we are. I think they were looking at each other, Lisa. What is this? Cigarettes, byway bags, and a little clutter. Toronto of the 80s. That looks way older than the 80s, but I guess the byway bag dates it. PCC streetcar loading up on College and Yonge. So that is the 506 going eastbound. So this here on the left, that's now a Winners. And Franz would be right there. Apparently that was the 80s. Sam A&A, which this later became an HMV. Zanzibar. So that is looking north at Yonge Street, and there's some arcades just over here. There's places over here where you could get like fake IDs and stuff made. I remember doing that. And there is a look south. I think that's the Metropolitan United Church at Shooter and Church right there. This has all been replaced. Ooh. I have ridden this roller coaster. That is the Flyer, and that is right next to exhibition stadium. Oh, those were the good old days. The Flyer. The Shuffle Demons at Young and Bluer. They're the band that had that song, The Spadina Bus. They preserved the Sam sign. No, yeah, Whippy dude. They put it up. It's way up in Young and Dundas for some reason. It's kind of weird. I'm glad they preserved it, but it's just such like a random place to stick it. Like, I don't know. It doesn't really work where it is, but I'm glad they still kept it. The fake ID in the basement, $50. You got kicked out of Tonic Night Club for trying to use it, says Anthony Michaels. I got one that had me at like, because we went there on a high school trip and we all got fake IDs. And mine was like a Michigan driver's license. And it had me at like 26 years old. And it was so obviously like a Polaroid picture that was like cut out and put where they were so shit. Like it was laminated, but you could like run your finger on it and feel the bump where like the picture was added. Lisa says you could plop them on a corner now and it would be the same. I think they play Jazz Fest from time to time. I think they still get together and do that. 1980 to 86 is available through Amazon and Blurb. What is this? Looking west along Elm, Form Young. Note Barbarian sign at center left. Form Young. Hey, there's Barbarian Steakhouse. Noted. There's the old YMCA. And there's a spa in that building. I went along this street in the video I recorded today. Jeanette was too chickenish to get a fake ID. The worst that can happen is they take it away. That's a pretty cool picture, and it looks like there used to be a Mr. Sub right here. Didn't that turn into a Panera Bread, which failed? Something like that. The history of Riverdale. Okay, I'm going to look at this. 17 super touristy things you must do in Toronto. The history of the Hogs Hall neighborhood. That's right around the corner from me. I'll take a quick look at that. BlogTO is fire lately. They're doing a good job covering Toronto. The history of the Riverdale neighborhood. This is going to be mostly reading. Skaters on Riverdale Rink. Yeah, I'm going to read this one on my own after the stream. The bouncer told you to go back to Yonge Street and get a refund. Have you ever used a fake ID? I don't think I got one, but it was like a novelty. We never actually used it. We just bought them. They were like 25, 30 bucks. Anthony said he paid 50, but either way, they were trash quality. I think it was just the appeal of getting a fake ID. Lisa says, have to wonder if they're just recycling some old content from the good old days. If they are, and they're like cherry picking the good stuff, what's wrong with going back and updating it? You know how many times I've struggled for an idea what to do, and I look at an old walk and I basically just recreate it. I watch it and I get like, oh, this guy's got some pretty good information. And then boom. Oh, yesterday I made a celebrity sighting. There's a Toronto YouTuber. This guy, Casey. Why vegetable police videos suck? Fad diet YouTubers, the next generation.
As a fad diet guru, having completed such cleanses as the...
So I was sitting down, eating my meal. What a flattering picture. And I saw this guy walking by. Down the street, I was in a bar slash restaurant called Louis Cypher. And I called his name out. I was like, vegetable police. And he looked over at me and he kind of waved, but we were too far and too awkward away to have a conversation. So then he just kind of was like, yeah, and kept going. But yeah, I saw him. So I felt like
47 hours
cool.
spirulina.
And then I was like, did he recognize me? Did he know who I was? Probably not. He probably just thought I was some nut yelling his name out. But he also has another channel called Camera Conspiracies, where he like, ooh, this one did pretty good. And all his videos are recorded usually around like Broadview and Danforth. That's his patented music, I think. I can't steal that.
Record once I'm recording. You can make the sentence work. So we've asked Fuji to let us use back button Forcus. Oh, that did not get any better. It only got worse. Let us use that while recording. You still can't do it in the Fuji X-H2S. So
anyways, his stuff is kind of funny. It's very funny. But it was pretty cool to see him walking down the street. One time he said he was giving away a gimbal. This was before I had a YouTube channel, and I replied like, "Hey, I would like that." And then he replied saying, "Oh, sorry, just gave it to someone else." Whippy Doo says fake ID to get alcohol at the Rivoli. Didn't need fake ID to get alcohol at the Rivoli. They gladly served me a Coors Light when I was way below age. Didn't even question it. I thought that was kind of weird. But hey. Yeah, so I ran into that guy yesterday. That was cool. That is Casey from Camera Conspiracies. Something you should know about your camera. Yeah, a lot of... Even if you're not into cameras, his videos are just generally pretty funny. I think a lot of his viewers are probably there for the comedy of it just as much they are the information. Clayton Crawford says, hello again. And I think we can get some more Toronto content maybe on not just bikes. I'm going to be going on vacation in Canada for the next few weeks. Social media apps have been deleted from my phone, and I'm looking forward to not having to think about other people's urban planning problems. I would strongly recommend not emailing me, as I probably won't be able to read it. How the hell would you have time to read anyone's email anyways? His next video is editing. And finally, all right. So he is from Toronto, but he relocated to the Netherlands. And then he launched this ridiculously successful channel. So I'm guessing there might be some Toronto videos coming up for him. Robert says, in the 90s, everybody drank. Age was irrelevant. That is probably true. I did not get served at Future Bistro though, or Future Bakery. There used to be one on Queen Street West. I remember going there and they wouldn't serve us because they asked for ID, and we're like, we're in grade 12, man, we don't have ID. And that's why we didn't get served. But the Rivoli, whoever we got that night, did not give two shits that we were not old enough. 17 super touristy things you must do in Toronto. You must do? Catch the view from the CN Tower. Yeah, if you're a tourist, it's hard to disagree with that one. That's actually a pretty cool experience. Deborah Ball never tried fake ID because you always looked young for your age and figured you'd get caught. Head down to the water. There's usually lots going on by the water, including weekly festivals at Harbourfront. While you're there, visit the Power Plant Contemporary Art Gallery. It's free. There you go. Lisa and art lovers. Grab a drink at Boxcar Social or just bike or stroll lakeside. Even though they hit the obvious one, I can't really disagree. Head down to the water. That seems like a good recommendation. Dive inside Ripley's Aquarium. Don't really know. Catch a sports game. Yeah, if you're into sports. Visit BMO Field or a TFC game, or go to a Blue Jays game. Taking some art at the Art Gallery of Ontario. I haven't been there since I was in high school. Yikes. We went there for like a group of 7 exhibit. Can't vouch for that one. Step inside the giant crystal at the ROM. Also haven't been since high school. Although I did go for Doors Open when I recorded a video through there. Jim Martin says, hi, hello. Deborah says 0 A&W is her preferred beverage anyways. Yes, Lisa, I am not an art guy. Correct. Walk around Kensington Market. Make sure you visit Kensington on an empty stomach with a staggering amount of affordable restaurants. Put affordable in quotes. You could still get yourself like a $14 burrito. Secondhand clothing shops, cute cafes, and a car that's also a tourist attraction. This area is a one-stop culture and fantastic snapshot of Toronto. Yes, I would also add, since you're there, Chinatown, West Queen West, Graffiti Alley. It's all right there. Well, West Queen West is actually a little bit, but just Queen West and Graffiti Alley. I would lump all of those in here. You really don't have any excuse. Or Kensington, yeah, that would be my recommendation. Chris Mills recently subscribed to a live stream of the Sulaks in northern Michigan. A little slow. I don't even know what that is or what that means, Chris. Eat your way through the St. Lawrence Market. There's a cool one. This whole neighborhood is worth exploring. Hey, that's like an older looking sightseeing bus. Are they going to suggest this? Take a city bus tour. $60. That's expensive for what it is. Imagine you had like 3 kids and a married couple. That's like whatever 5 times 60 is. 300 bones just to pop around the city on a bus. Christopher says I used to get they used to get served underage in the local pubs and usually send the older looking guy with the deepest voice. I was having this talk with my friend the other day because we were at Louis Cypher and this drunk guy staggered in and sat down and the waitress was like, "Sorry, Bill, not today. We'll see you tomorrow." Like clearly the guy was cut off, probably kicked out of another bar and went there. And I was like, remember back when we were in like bars and like you and all your friends were shit-faced and you would just go up to the bartender and order like 6 shots or 6 of anything and they would just give it to you, not knowing who you were going back and giving those to? Because technically bartenders are, or the bars can be liable, right? If you get intoxicated and do something stupid. But I just remember going there and getting like my hands full of Jaeger bombs going, "Here you go, guys." The bartender didn't check to see how like sober everyone was before he served me all those. So I guess I don't know what my point is. Go deep woods at the Evergreen Brickworks. Ooh. You're going to have trouble getting there. You're going to have to be very familiar with the TTC or just take a lift. Escape the city in the midst of downtown at Allen Gardens. It's fun to visit all year long. Allen Gardens is a very interesting park. It's kind of like Moss Park North. I don't know if tourists shouldn't be going for a stroll through the Allen Gardens. Maybe through the botanical part indoors, but I don't think that's a destination park. It's nice. It has potential, but it needs a little cleaning up if we're going to be sending tourists over there. Eunice says thoughts on TTC accident. Was there a TTC accident? I missed that. Ooh, Graffiti Alley, 100%. They could have lumped this one in with Kensington Market. Toronto's Graffiti Alley is one of the most Instagram spots in the city. It runs just south of Queen from Spadina to Portland, and it features some of our city's coolest, most colorful street art. Yes, I guess they wanted a separate one. Yeah, I do not recognize this art. This is long gone. Get lost in High Park, one of Toronto's oldest and largest parks. Sure, hard to disagree with that one. Go back in time at the Distillery District. Yeah, I would do your St. Lawrence walk and then come over here. I'm feeling deja vu. Have we been through this article again? I feel like I've made these same comments before. I don't know. Experience the wonders of the Aga Khan Museum. Never been. Ridden through there. Apparently, it's an absolutely stunning property. See a big show. Yes, there's the Elgin Theater. Normally, the Elgin Theater isn't that utilized. Or Buddies in Bad Times. I think that's like the oldest running LGBTQ theater in North America. Take a trip to the Toronto Islands. All right, pretty fair article. Lisa says the grounds are neat, but you've never been inside. John O'Meara says Aga Khan is worth a visit. I should go. You think I should go? Or I should have been by now. All right, Blog TO, another good article. Clayton says, hey, we could do vacations for 1,000. Are you wanting to know where I'm going on vacation? I'll give you a hint. I am traveling from the worst airport on planet Earth right now in terms of delays, cancellations, and lost luggage to another top 5 worst in the world airport. So I'm going, Pearson Airport is bar none the worst airport on planet Earth right now, international airport. And the other airport I'm going to is in the top 5. The chances of my flight there and my flight back going off without a hitch are 0%. So I am kind of looking forward to this. But Chris Mills says you only do carry-on. Yes, I do only do carry-on. But you know, what's happening is because so many people are scared of their luggage being lost. Most flights now, they're having to check people's carry-ons at the gate because there's not going to be enough room in the overheads if everyone brings carry-on. That's kind of... They usually do that, and when they announce, would anyone like to voluntarily check their carry-ons, I usually kind of like ball up and start looking like, please don't pick me, please don't pick me. And the few times they pick me, I kind of make up a little lie and be like, oh, you guys lost my luggage the last time. I'm paranoid. And every time I've been able to weasel out of not checking my carry-on. Yes, I know that makes me not a good person, but I refuse to check bags. Period. Everett says, good evening, Johnny Stumbles. Hello. I almost said Strides. Hello, Everett. John Amir says in June had no problems at Pearson for international inbound and outbound. No delays. Good to know, John. Apparently, if you're going to the U.S., the U.S. Customs is a nightmare. And coming back is a roll of the dice because you could still end up... Like, when I came back from New York, we sat in our plane for 2.5 hours because they only let 50 people off at a time every, 20 or 30 minutes or something. It was stupid. And apparently, they're still doing that nonsense. That time, Toronto had streetcars going up and down Yonge. This must be the Ed Mervish Theater based on that sign. And this on the left is all what would now be the Eaton Center. It's amazing. Most big North American cities were actually streetcar based. There's theories that it was like GM and the auto industry that killed streetcars, especially in LA. What GM did in LA was absolutely dirty. Everett C, $10. Thank you, Everett C, for your support and the super chat. Thank you very much. The art gallery used to be free on Wednesday nights. I think it is. Lisa could probably answer, our resident art expert. Todd says Pearson is the worst. Frankfurt is the second in his experience with luggage. He throws up there. The only airport that ever lost my luggage was LAX. That is truly a bad airport. Look how fashionable she is dressed. Rocking those heels. Paranormal Witness Girl says, Johnny, def do a video on what's your carry-on. That could be an interesting video. Maybe I'll do that. That could be more of a Stumbles video. Look how good or well dressed everybody is. Everyone is behaving properly. If that was a TTC streetcar in 2022, you would not see this. I guarantee you. You would see someone with their feet on the seats, a few bags on the seats. No one would be sitting upright. There might be random puddles on the ground of fluids that should not be disclosed. There might be like a needle rolling down the floor. Like, it would be very, very different from this. Jumbo TV says, back when you could support a family with a single income. I think you could do that up until the 90s comfortably. The good old 90s, where all you had to do was have a decent job and you could get a mortgage. Maybe not on a great place, but now that's a pipe dream. Linda Jane Jackson says that would be your grandmother. Maybe that lines up. The driver, motorman, sat at the front of the car, but basically people ignored him since he did not collect the fares. Behind the driver was a large box that in winter held sand to provide traction on icy streetcars. This is going to be a really interesting article to read. Union Station. Even this guy is like dressed up nicely. Not the young bus at 2 a.m., the old vomit comet. Exhibition. Ooh, look at the icicles dripping from this thing. That must have been a cold ass streetcar to ride in. History of the Peter Witt streetcars, the PCs. Yeah, it's a shame how most cities were kind of pedestrianized and built for streetcars, and they ended up catering to the automobile, and now we're like very expensively trying to reverse course. Fortunately, Toronto hung on to its streetcar network. Not entirely, but we hung on to a good bit of it. Here's what I was talking about. Pearson Airport ranks worst in the world for delays and cancellations are to what? Is this a... Did I read that right? Pearson Airport ranks worst in the world for delays and cancellations are high. 4 delays and cancellations are high, too. Is this English? Pearson Airport ranks worst in the world for delays and cancellations. Just end it. End it right there. Are high too. And in a title, I don't think you're not supposed to capitalize this I and this T. You can go to a website called Capitalize My... Yes, I realize I spelled that wrong. Capitalize My Title. Pearson Airport ranks worst in the world, right? So if you type Pearson Airport ranks worst in the world for delays and cancellations are high too. I guess, are high too. I guess it did put these big. But see how the I should be small and the T should be small? What? This story was fact-checked. Hey, Brooke! She did an article on me before. I shouldn't be too harsh on Brooke. Toronto Pearson Airport has made a name of itself with extreme delays and wild cancellation stories, and now travelers have the data to back their tales of woe up. FlightAware released data to Narcissity reporting that 52.5% of the airport's flights were delayed from May 26 to July 19, making Toronto Pearson Airport the #1 airport on their worldwide list for delays. It being the world's tardiest airport wasn't bad enough. Pearson also ranked 4th in flight cancellations worldwide, with 6.5% of flights canceled from May 26 to July 19, bringing in a total number of 1,816 canceled flights in roughly 2 months. So here's our list. According to this, FlightAware, these are the top 10 worst airports for delays. Toronto Pearson, Frankfurt, Paris, Amsterdam Schiphol, London, Heathrow, Munich, Athens, Sydney, Orlando. So, author doesn't choose the title of the article. I'm hoping not, Robert. That's a terrible, terrible title. I am flying from here, and I'm going to one of these 5 here and back. Oregon e-biker Mark has joined us in Johnny Stumbles land. Thank you, Oregon e-biker Mark. I am looking forward to this flight adventure in a week and a half. Hey, Tech Needs Tea has not showed up. I told Tech next time she shows up, we could play some games, but I don't think that's going to happen. Pronounced Skipal. For someone who doesn't know how to pronounce Grosvenor, you're sure nailing the hard one. Robert said I wasn't going to Paris. Okay. I am not going to Paris. So either Frankfurt, Schiphol, or London. Colette is here. Hello, Colette. Yeah, so maybe I'll do a what's in my carry-on video, but I'm going to try to do a Pearson flying out video. And then I think the flying out videos are more interesting than the flying in videos. And then I'll try to do one on my way back as well. Lisa says, I'm Dutch. Give me a little credit. All right, I'll give you some credit. It is Grosvenor, though. Oregon e-biker Mark says, London is awesome. Herman says, is it nonstop from Pearson? Yes, it is. That was the big appeal. I wanted to go to Eastern Europe, but the flights just weren't working out, and I wanted to use my Aeroplan miles. So I needed something that Air Canada flew directly to, and it had to line up with my friend's schedule. So we got it. Have you seen the images from JWST? I don't even, what is that, Anthony Michaels? Naughty Brown says Moscow. Yes, I am going to Moscow. I'm going there on a peace mission to tell them to, yeah. No, I'm not going to Moscow. That would be interesting. But sadly, it is not Glasgow. All right. Why do I have this up? I need to leave that up. I was looking for a title. What of the stream, and I was like, what holiday is it today? Today is National Cousins Day. It's also National Tequila Day. It is Children's Day in Vanuatu. Children's Day in Vanuatu is held annually on July 24th to celebrate and protect children. It's International Self-Care Day. Aw, she's hugging herself. As the foundation of wellness, self-care is emphasized and prioritized on International Self-Care Day. It's National Amelia Earhart Day. Amelia Earhart is one of America's most beloved pioneers in aviation. Who was... Oh, it was the Lindbergh baby who disappeared. That's it. I got her and the Lindbergh child confused. National Day of Motoring. Vroom vroom, take your Mini for a drive and bask in the beauty of the open road. National Drive-Thru Day. We may take it for granted, but eating in our cars is a privilege. Not all of us have cars. Not all of us have cars. Now see, this says she disappeared. National Marine Week. These 2 weeks highlight the amazing species found in the UK's oceans. Gertej needs hot chocolate for a cough. That's an interesting remedy for a cough. National Parents Day. National Tell an Old Joke Day. Jog your memory about the old jokes you know. National Thermal Engineer Day. Pioneer Day. Samaritan's Awareness Day. Everyone deserves to be listened to and understood. It just takes the will to do so. We're all good Samaritans. Simon Bolivar's birthday. Commemorate Simon, whoever that is, the influential South American leader and politician. Amelia Earhart's birthday. Isn't she on here twice? She's on here twice. Mara Wilson birthday. This well-established actress, writer knows how to use the right words to get success. Apparently, I don't know how to use the right words. She's younger than me. She's 7 years younger than me. What the hell? Started as a child actress who played important roles in films from the 90s. She established a writing career during her adult years and returned to acting after a long break, mostly playing roles in web series and animated shows. How did she end up on this list? I'm not taking away from her. Why you got to tell us someone's net worth? My net worth is add up the value of my e-bikes. Background. Wow, they're really giving us a lot of information on her. She is supportive of mental health. She isn't afraid to speak her mind. She follows her heart. Those are all A+ qualities in a human. She was shy. She is the cousin of Ben Shapiro. Watching her brother prompted her acting dream. Why is this random website going into like freaky detail of whoever Mara Wilson is? Jumbo TV says, man, she was like in everything in the 90s. Well, she seems relatively accomplished, I guess. And we have 158 viewers. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Just a reminder, I don't think I'll be live streaming next Sunday. Johnny, can you go to the darkest Peru, climb the tallest Andes mountain, and show us your private views of Machu Picchu? Rick, no, I can't. And no, I won't. Although that does sound kind of cool. Weekend food festivals roundup. We're changing the way we move around town. The data shows Toronto's burgeoning love affair with cycling was no pandemic blip, but a shift in culture propelled by the city's bike share program. Yes, cycling numbers are increasing. That might have had to do with the record amount of bikes sold and unfortunately stolen over the last few years. Bikes were bikes and video game consoles were really hard to come by during the middle of the pandemic. I'm proud yesterday was my first time visiting the Toronto Islands in 27 years, and you were born in Toronto. I have a feeling there's a lot of people like that. Will you stream from a coffee shop in the red light district? No. I have heard, not that I am going there, but you don't dare show your camera around a red light district. Well, the ones in Bangkok are pretty touristy. I actually have videos from there. But the ones in Europe, in one city in particular, they do not take kindly to seeing a camera. Unknown Canada says, hey, Johnny Strides, you live on Instagram. Right now, you made a story about me. You hope to see and like. I don't have to do that. I will take a look. I have been MIA on Instagram. I haven't posted anything there or gone through DMs or anything in quite a while, but I will take a look, Unknown Canada. Scenes from around downtown, too. Cool. Get your feet off the seats, man. No one wants to sit down where your effing shoes were. You were walking through God knows what fluids on the ground, especially in the streetcar. Don't put your feet on the seats. That's disgusting. You'll occasionally find like a little bit of hard plastic where it's okay to put your feet, but get your shoe off the seat, man. That pisses me off. Like, what could be a cool photo, like, low-key triggers me just seeing that. This looks like... Is this Toronto Street? No, this is the Bay Adelaide Center, I think, on the left. This is Temperance, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's Temperance Street. Mark H. is here. She says, hey, Ali. CTV says tornado warning for Tweed and Madoc area. Good thing I have never heard of those areas. John O'Meara says low-key. Okay, it triggers me. I don't want to see feet on seats. And unless it's like 1 a.m. and there's nobody on there, I don't want to see your bag on the seat either. Bags go on your lap. Missing cat in Riverdale, Broadview / Danforth area. Aw. That makes me sad. Mark H says they are close to Vivian's area. If you have seen this little guy, please track down this post on Reddit. Anyone know who this band is? Multiple emergency departments in Toronto are on the verge of collapse tonight. There's no nurses. They are begging people with no nursing training to act as nurses. Care will be compromised, but they won't declare an official emergency, presumably to save face. I heard Toronto Western Hospital was out of staff yesterday and almost had to shut down. There's like a borderline, well, not a borderline, an actual crisis in emergency rooms right now in our hospitals. It is pretty scary what's going on. Police arrest man 63 after alleged sexual assault during Toronto rental viewing. What? A 63-year-old man has been arrested following an alleged sexual assault during a rental apartment viewing. Toronto police said they investigated. A man was renting rooms to female international students. Police say an 18-year-old woman went to the house to view a rental and was assaulted. Wow. Can we just, like, I'm all for human rights, but I think this guy should be thrown into a pit and just left to stay there. Yikes. Oh, Bevy YHC is here. COVID has put ERs in duress. Yes, a lot of nurses overworked, underpaid. They have like 20% less spending power than they did like 10 years ago or something crazy like that. Like, the government has no problem negotiating healthy raises for fire, for police, for all these government agencies. People are keeping pace or outpacing inflation. Why are our nurses getting the shitty end of the stick? Why aren't they at least keeping up with inflation? And now they're being worked to death? Like, it's almost like they're trying to make healthcare fail so they have an excuse to privatize part of it. I mean, we all know that's exactly what they're trying to do, but just pay these effing people and treat them properly. And maybe you'll actually want to attract some new good ones to come work. It's not rocket science what's going on. The departure board in Toronto Pearson Airport today. Uh-oh. Halifax, Washington, Philly, Dallas, Spain, Quebec, Salt Lake, Winnipeg, Indy, LaGuardia, Vienna, Frankfurt, St. Louis, Orlando, Cleveland, Regina, Boston, Calgary. Holy shit. Every single flight delayed. Sapan TTC Explorer, no need to be sorry for being late. A lot of these are U.S. departures, Ali BHG. By the way, how did your Boston Red Sox do this weekend? The Blue Jays broke a 99-year 11-month standing record of most runs given up by the Boston Red Sox. It was 27 runs they've given up, and they scored 28 on Friday. And it felt like it could have been a lot more. So, yeah, it's time for that team to have a little fire sale and rebuild for the future. Gravity reincarnated. Why would anyone want to go to Cleveland? Probably people from Cleveland who came here who have to now go back. Also, I want to go to Cleveland. If I were going to Cedar Point, I think that's the closest airport, and then you just rent a car and go. Look at these reactions. I didn't see the city I am going. Air Canada should go out of business. Yes, Air Canada. I don't really, it's hard because the airlines furloughed a lot of staff, and then a lot of those staff found better things to do and better jobs and didn't want to come back. And now they're like ridiculously understaffed. And they also have a ton of new people working for them who have inadequate training. So like the wheels are off. Maybe, I don't know. But Air Canada definitely dropped the ball. The Greater Toronto Airport Authority dropped the ball. And you better believe the feds dropped the ball. Like, we still have a ArriveCan. Don't get me started on that. 2 men dead following early morning shooting at nightclub in Vaughan. Vaughan has nightclubs? What? Woman 20 hospitalized in serious condition. Can we just ban guns already? Like, this is stupid. 2 men were killed and a woman is in serious condition following a shooting in Vaughan early Saturday morning. It should just be, if you have an illegal handgun, you go to jail the rest of your life. Make me prime minister. I would make that a thing. And hopefully that would be the end of that. Minicat says ArriveCan is horrid. Yes, we are the only country on planet Earth where you have to download government malware in order to visit. And border crossings are way down. And the number one problem reported by mayors is that Americans don't want to fill out ArriveCan. Jumbo TV says, what's the problem with ArriveCan? It's horrible. Like, yeah, it took me 5 minutes to fill out, but I'm kind of tech-minded. Not everyone has a phone. Not everyone is under 80 and is fluent in tech, or it's only available in like a few different languages. It's a flaming pile of shit. You should not have to download an app to visit a country. It is stupid. We're the only ones on Earth. We're the only ones on Earth re-implementing random testing at the airport. Like, what does that do? And if I test positive after getting off a plane, I have to isolate for 10 days. But my neighbor only has to isolate for 5 if they test positive, even though we have exactly the same thing. Like, how effing stupid is that? Like, give it up. A convicted hitman got a 60-day pass to Toronto. His wife says he shouldn't come back. Oh, that's the guy who killed the boxer. I remember that story. Naughty says, when are you going on your holidays? In about that amount of weeks. Oh, sorry to hear that, Bevy. Hopefully that piece of shit got what they deserved and your best friend goes to New York to visit your family. You're sure she has used that stupid app? Nobody likes ArriveCan. It's pointless. It should be optional at best. They deliberately want to make travel miserable in this country. I don't know. Boomers are exiting the workforce in droves, leaving more job vacancies than there are people to fill them. It's kind of funny when certain industries, like the industry I used to work in, is like begging for people. And these are not low-paying jobs. I have a friend who consults for that industry. And I also have a LinkedIn account that gets me recruiter email. And almost every time I go in there, there's a hilarious amount of recruiters like, you want to come back to work? And it's like, no, I don't. A conceptual GO train strip map I made showing what local express services could look like on the lake shoreline. Oh, that's too complicated for me. Suspect sought after man stabbed in Danforth bar? What? A stabbing in a Danforth bar? Where is this? A man is in serious condition after he was stabbed in a bar along Toronto's Danforth Avenue. Tell us where on Danforth. Danforth and Woodbine. The male victim, who paramedics say is in his 30s, was taken to a hospital trauma center. This is effed up. The CN Tower voted for Jack Tory. I will not be voting for Mr. Tory. No offense. Unknown says Air Canada is making it difficult for people to travel to and from Canada, but they complain that they are low in customers. Yeah, Air Canada, it's everything. Air Canada, the Greater Toronto Airport Authority, and our government are all taking their fist, putting a rubber glove over it, and sticking it up something. It's ridiculous. Be aware the so-called Freedom Convoy is heading south on Yonge Street. Apparently that's still a thing. What is there left to... What are they protesting exactly? I don't know. My wife's sketch of City Hall. Okay, something good here. That is good. That is pretty cool. Lisa says those people are super nuts. Kramer says, I don't know. Gil Penalosa could be Toronto's chance to challenge the status quo. Yes, look into this guy, folks. This guy is an extremely accomplished urban planner. Very, very, very counter to what Tory is. Tory is basically a glorified administrator. Toronto's Western Hospital's ER was at risk of shutting down this week. And yes, we talked about it. It's absolutely sad. Pay the nurses more money. I mean, geez, it's not that hard. And our medical system is so bloated with admins that there's a lot of fat to be cut and a lot of money that could go into the front lines where it's actually needed. It's so ass backwards. Not that I'm an expert on that. Colette says, are you going to the CNE this year? You bet your ass I'm going to the CNE this year. Are you going to the CNE this year? Let's ask. Are you going to the CNE this year? Yeah, let's just leave this as like a yes or no question. I would, but I don't live near there. Okay, I'll put an answer in for the people that that don't live in Toronto. Actually, I kind of assumed you would, but don't live near here. Oh well. Even if you wouldn't and don't live near here, answer the last one. This looks beautiful. Took this photo from Nathan Phillips Square today morning. Ooh, I like the colors on that. Some massive filters going on. Probably some Lightroom. Why did Unknown Canada's... Oh. Nightbot hates caps lock. Yes, I hate caps lock. Supermoon, Blood Moon over Toronto. That is pretty cool. Are you going to do a video at Canada's Wonderland? Asks Justin. Probably not this year. I don't have plans to go. If I do, it'll be in the fall. This Indigenous-led crisis team wants you to think twice before calling 911. Instead of police, this downtown west alternative to 911 reaches an Indigenous-led crisis team that makes sure an individual's care is on their own terms. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis or see someone who is, Sage wants you to think twice about calling 911. Okay, mental health crisis. That's fair. But how do you just... What if it's an overdose? Like, I don't know. I'm calling 911 no matter what when I see someone in need. If you live in downtown West Toronto, from around South Parkdale to waterfront communities and up to the Annex and Christie Ossington neighborhoods and need a non-emergency wellness check. Oh, this isn't... Try 211 instead. This is an excellent service. If you see someone who, yeah, like we all just see these things and walk by, right? It's not a medical emergency. We don't think twice. But here's a resource where we could call and we could at least know we did something and someone's going to go check. All right. They need to properly advertise 211. The problem is I think this team only covers a certain area. Instead of being connected with police who have long been criticized for their handling of mental health calls, well, if there's no crime, there's no real need for the police to be involved. You'll reach a new Indigenous-led crisis response team comprised of nurses, crisis support workers, case managers, and community resource specialists. This is like what we need in Toronto, right? Like, that's a cool service. 211. Clearly Canadian. Hello, 911. I'm sad. I think it's a little more complicated than that. TPS, Queen's Park and University Avenue, Dundas to College are closed. I think that was for the so-called convoy. It seems the convoy crowd believe it's spelled resources. Stop political mismanagement of Canadian resources. With an S. We know it's on purpose. Okay. Not everyone can spell. I get it. Toronto's red hot real estate market was a feeding frenzy for investors as the stock market cools. What will they do now? Ooh, here's a cool picture. View of the flooded islands. That is an awesome picture. And I wish this person didn't copyright it because I would steal the F out of that and use it. John says spelling is a fair target on this channel, plus apostrophes, except for when I do it. Is this not like a top 10 photo of the Toronto skyline you've ever seen? Like, that is gorgeous. The Muskoka chairs looking over at the CN Tower. I just want to see like an old guy smoking a pipe in one of these chairs. That would make it super cool. Robert says mint photo. Anita Spencer went to Center Island. It was beautiful. Alex is one of the best. How is our poll doing? 28% of you plan on going to the CNE this year. 28% of you don't. And the other 44% of you don't count. Chaucer had a problem with spelling. Shakespeare did too. Fair points. Rogers blames massive outage error during network update. Telecom set to appear in Ottawa to explain further. You know, my Rogers bill came and usually it's in like the 300s and it was like $250 this month. So they did take something off. Rogers Communications says an update to its network caused a malfunction that very quickly took down telecom services. Why didn't you have redundancies built in to prevent that? According to a letter sent, the outage, which started early on July 8th, so they started their outage like right before a weekend, and for some customers lingered for days, left millions without phones. An update in our core internet protocol network caused our IP routing network to malfunction. You think that if they would have redundancies built in so no one single fail point could bring their whole network to its knees? Ultimately, that's the CRTC's fault for not regulating that properly, but break them up. Immigration officials meet with refugee placement company after concerns raised. Hey, I got a good story. I know someone who lives next door to a household with 5 Ukrainian refugees. There's like a family there and 2 of the older guys. And guess what happened? The 2 older guys just moved out and got their own apartment. Why? Because they just got a job. So they came over here during the crisis, basically homeless, countryless. And this nice family put them up. They had a house and they had the space. And now 2 of the guys are completely self-dependent in a whole new country, and they barely speak English yet. No fault of their own, of course. Like, I think that's really cool. I don't know what field they're working in, but I know that they're like roommates in an apartment somewhere. So good for them. Congrats on, setting up some roots here. I think that's pretty good. And employers, if people are qualified, give them a chance. Toronto Pearson, I just need to get out of this airport. Airports and airlines around the world are struggling to keep up as people begin to travel again, even after more than 2 years of the coronavirus pandemic. But some travel hubs are worse than others. For 4 days in a row, Pearson International Airport, the busiest in Canada with flights to 105 cities around the world, experienced the most delays of any airport globally. Yes, we are massively understaffed. And the staff they do have are undertrained. These are well-known issues. It's not just Air Canada. Don't just blame them. John Amir says there's a lot of very educated people in Ukraine. Lots of digital tech fields. You miss what? It's a pretty cool photo. Blurry in the foreground, really sharp in the background. This looks like a Samsung phone took it. With the over sharpening, and why did I say it that way? I comment, I type, I see, I upvote, I leave, I look. Gertej says, what's going on with Pearson Airport? Just don't go there. Gil Penalosa has released his parks plan. Allow alcohol, winterized restrooms, better waste management, and more. I think his plan kind of made sense. Allow alcohol in parks up to 9 p.m. I think that's a reasonable line in the sand to draw. Most other cities around the world have such things implemented. I've never heard of an animal make a sound like this. Dogs burn their paws on Toronto Island Ferry Walkway. All right, that's sad. Rage Against the Machine, Tom Morello tackled by security? Oh, I can't play that video. That's TMZ. They'll nail me. Toronto, the city that works. Unless you're working class, there's an ugly anti-working class sentiment percolating in some parts of Toronto, as seen in resistance to adding small-scale businesses to residential areas. That is a mouthful. Where was Gil a city planner? I don't think he was a city planner. He's a urban planner. Gil, he should have his own. Is that how you spell it? Gil Penalosa? Does he have like an about? There we go. Gil is passionate about cities for all people. He advises decision makers and communities worldwide on how to create vibrant cities and healthy communities for all, regardless of age, gender, ability, and social, economic, or ethnic background. His focus is on the design and use of parks and streets as great public places, as well as the promotion of sustainable mobility, walking, riding bikes, using public transit, and new use of cars. Opposed to John Tory, former Rogers executive. Gill is the founder and chair of the successful Canadian nonprofit organization 880 Cities, as well as first ambassador of World Parks. He is very, very well known and respected in the urban planning world. Maybe he won't be so good on like the administrating aspects that Tory seems to excel on, but I don't know. Walking the city at the taste of the Middle East, delicious food, joyful music. Oh, he just...
Now in the Middle Eastern Festival, but we have people from all over. People of all ages, all nationalities. We're going to have this not once a year, we're going to have it every weekend all over the city. And not only downtown, we need this all over the suburbs. At Toronto for everyone, Gil for mayor.
Oh God, never read the comments on Twitter. Just never do that. Do yourself a favor. We're talking about mental health. Spare yourself the trouble. Don't read the comments on Twitter. That's just a bad thing. Ford is giving the mayor new powers. Yeah, I'm actually a fan of that. There still are checks and balances built in, but that's something that we are kind of behind on. Did I hear about Smorgasburg? I don't even know what that is. Terratopia is here. Hello, Terratopia. Speaking of Terratopia and friends, I ran into Ryan Rides after my stream on Saturday afternoon. I was right at Greenwood and Danforth waiting for the bus, and who popped up around the corner, and it was Ryan saying hi, and we had about as much time as saying hi because my bus then showed up, and he is still in the process of procuring a new e-scooter, which I am also in the process of. Brad Palmer says good evening to Kathleen. All right, let's see here. What do I have? I need to use a facility. I'm just going to play something for you guys while I go. That makes me miss Thailand prices. Ignore the audio on this. It is terrible. But this is a clip from one of the videos I filmed today that I might not be able to upload. I'll be back. Just give me a sec. Psychic Giovanna. Not sure what that has to do with Youth Day. Several years ago, Yonge Street being closed off for Busker Fest. And during the Pride Parade, they closed the stretch. For a brownie there. Is that good? $7.50 for a brownie? PJ says there's a chair moving down the street. Yeah, something like that. I'll turn that sound down. Yeah, so this was recorded earlier today. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to salvage the audio on this one. I don't know. I'm hoping I'll be able to do that. It's kind of a neat looking scene anyways. YouTube is now telling me now would be a good time to insert an ad. Yeah, Lisa, I'm going to have to go through it and see if this is something I can use. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to salvage one or two of these videos. Did I miss? Teratopia says, thank you for all the love and support, you guys. Well, long time no see. Glad you're back. Although, oh, it's almost 9 p.m. Hey, that could be like a, I don't know if that's thumbnail material. Youth Day. YouthDayToronto.com. I remember back in 2002, we had like a Christian themed Youth Day, and like the Pope came, and it was kind of a big deal. Like Toronto was, although it always is the center of the universe, it really was the center of the universe that day. And someone mentioned the Sam the Record Man sign. There it is, way up there. Teratopia will fill me in on Instagram. Okay, I'll have to check my DMs on Instagram, which I have not done in a very, very long time. But all right, Tara, I will. Lisa will bowl after this. Need to do something mindless before calling it a day. It was a lovely week off. Well, you know where to find me if you have a Meta Quest 2. But on that note, now see this is looking at buying an e-bike. Are you still liking your new one? So far, so good. Now see this. The big attraction with that particular one, though, is the range. It is not one of your mainstream e-bike companies. That might be my only holdup, but it's got that big, beautiful battery, and I don't have any issues with it. And I've taken it into a bike shop, and they were like, this is pretty good. So, all right, I think we're going to call it a night. I'm going to take the rest of the night off and relax. And then tomorrow I'll figure out what to do with this mountain of videos that I have that I don't know what to do with. Sunjib says, looking at buying an e-bike. Are you still like, oh, you just copied and pasted someone else's message, Sunjib. Ali BHG says, have a great week all. Yes, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank our mods for doing their good work. And about a week and a half to 2 weeks from now, I'm going to try to go live from a different certain European country. I should still have videos going up for the next few weeks while I'm away, and I'm not going to be able to do this next Sunday night, unfortunately, but maybe I'll do it on Saturday, or I'll do something to make up for it. Maybe I'll do a Stumbles from Abroad one night on the shitty webcam on my laptop. I don't know. Herman says, when are you leaving? That shall be a mystery, Herman. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks to our mods, thanks to our channel members, Patreon supporters, thanks to everyone. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. And subscribe if you haven't. Colette says, so we'll see you in August. You will, Colette. I have not run into you in like 2 years. I expect to see you wandering around the streets of Toronto. All right. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you in the next one. Yoink.